Hello and welcome to the Smart Classroom, a conversation with educators facilitated by Esoma Solutions Limited. Esoma Solutions is an EdTech company headquartered in Thika, Kenya, whereby we are solving for educators and young learners to make sure that they have their foundations of learning right. We have a flagship product called Esoma Kids, whereby we are facilitating digital learning at the foundational levels, providing numeracy and literacy in a gamified and fun way, and making sure that your child has an opportunity at mastering the concepts at a very young age. Your host today is Julius Irungu, CEO and co-founder of Esoma Solutions. And my guest is somebody you may know, somebody you may love, somebody you might have found somewhere else, somebody that just loves teaching and making education fun. Welcome to the Smart Classroom, Teacher Priscillah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm delighted to be here. I'm happy at the fact that I'm here and we're discussing about the smart classroom and the revolution. Yes.
Thank you so much. Welcome, Teacher Priscillah.
Asante.
And who is Teacher Priscillah?
Well, Teacher Priscillah, in full, it's Priscillah Karanja. She's a teacher and I'm passionate about education, about children and the well-being of children, their happiness. That is what I'm interested in. And I love being happy.
Thank you very much. That is Teacher Priscillah for you. Always fun, always entertaining, always grateful to be in educational spaces. So Teacher Priscillah.
Yes.
At Esoma Solutions Limited, as you may have known us, we are so passionate about technology in the classroom.
Yes.
You are the person who is in the classroom. Would you mind telling us, do you yourself as a teacher apply technology in the classroom?
Yes, I do use it. I can say I normally use 50-50, depending on where I'm at. And one thing I normally use, the way I use technology, it's recording myself. And how people maybe have known me, it's through technology because I do record myself, whatever I do in class, and then I use it out there. At times, I will do my research using my phone and use the online platforms to teach and maybe to give out homework, takeaways. Yeah. So normally I can say, and it's easier than paperwork.
Wow.
Because I don't like paperwork. But I don't like. Yes.
That is interesting. You've been using technology. Some people may look at it as a form of entertainment, but for you, you feel that it has been an instrumental thing in the classroom. As you have been using it with your learners in your job, have you seen it improve the way outcomes of learners tend to be with technology than they are without technology?
Yes. I've seen a great change, especially sometimes when you introduce the new trends in class and you find that like these children, they can relate with what is happening. And I think the fact that we have like they've been introduced to technology when they're babies, like when they're small, watching cartoons, blah, blah, blah. So maybe when you bring a paperwork, sometimes it feels like it is a lot of work. And then by the virtue of maybe doing the songs that I've learned online, when I bring it to class, you find a child develops that interest to come to school. They find a fun way of doing things, learning. And technology, it's making even the classroom work easier. And I love it that way.
That is amazing. That is amazing. It's interesting to hear you say that from the perspective of a teacher. I was reading a research paper recently and I saw something that was really fascinating for me because a research had been done and out of all the learners who had used technology in the classroom for their supplemental learning, 76% reported success out of amusement. So for you as a teacher, have you seen this amusement creating that extra edge for learners to absorb concepts that they would probably not have gotten if it was just the chalk work or the paperwork or just the normal way of teaching that you've been used to?
One thing I know, one thing about technology and what is happening in technology, it's an explanation that happens within a short period of time and it can be repeated over and over again compared to classroom work where you'll just teach a concept and that's it. It's upon you to grasp it or not. So I think technology, there is a way, maybe, especially for the videos, if it is a 3-minute video, it will be repeated over and over again at your own time. Once we're in classroom, when the teacher teaches and they're amena nyumbani. So, ukijaribu kukumbuka, ukumbuki na maybe alikupe formula, you don't know even how to apply it.
Yes.
So I can say the 76%, even for me, I think there's a jongezea hapo tukue 80%.
That's pretty interesting.
Yes.
So it is one of the ways that research gets validated when a teacher who experiences the day-to-day running of the classroom then comes and says, truly, when you apply the small snippets of technology, it is working for our learners. So it's very impressive to get that from you. Great. So, Teacher Sela, there has been this whole conversation, this whole argument about CBC, the transition, and all that. And one of the pillars about CBC, forget the noise, forget what they've been saying, forget what has been in the public domain. In this whole spectrum about CBC, one of the biggest pillars is digital literacy.
Yeah.
And with our learners, as a teacher, you mentioned time and time again, the best way to get learners to understand something is by experience. They experience it, they learn it.
Yeah.
So what is your position about digital literacy and CBC and how they intersect?
Well, most of the time you'll find kama zile activity wanapewa kwa books zenye wamesuggest. Most of them wako zile za there's a link there. This link, click it, uende maybe uonyeshwe. And then you'll find some of these things zenye ziko kwa CBC. Some of us, personally, kama mwalimu.
Yes.
Utapata crocheting iko hapo kwa nini? Mtoto anafaa kufunzwa crocheting. Mi sijui, but then again, you'll find kuna kalink umekewa hapo. Unaweza ambia watoto waende wa learn. And also, it's a plus for you as a teacher kwa sababu utaenda uangalie like how is it done. So that hata ukiingia class utakuwa blank sana. Like unajua mtoto anajonga wewe ndio unajua.
Yes.
So there is a way you do your own research, how things are done. Like kama ni kitu mtoto anafunzwa, saa zingine ni kupika. Na we can't assume everybody knows how to cook, right?
Sure.
And some of the menus zenye zimeletwa, we can't assume everybody knows how to make them.
Can we assume you know how to cook yourself?
Well, assume.
Right.
For me, assume.
Okay.
But then again, I think there is a way, like those links, they really help. They really help to incorporate CBC the way it is. So it has been hard because some schools, they do not have maybe hawajafikiwa na hiyo technology, the laptops, the tabs, haijawafikia. But I can say kwenye imefika, I can say hao wako mbele. So the transition venye tu inakam, I know with time tutakuwa 100%, but I can say even at 65, hatuko pabaya sana. We are somewhere and we are moving somewhere.
I love that. It's good to hear that there is progress.
Yes, there is.
You said we don't put the noise aside very much.
Yes.
So within the noise, I recently had a conversation with county education officials.
Okay.
And the conversation bordered on CBC framework is placed in such a way that as a teacher, as a parent, as a learner in that learning environment, you are supposed to make sure that learners are using readily available materials for their education.
Yeah.
And my question was, in the current world, in the current configuration of things, would we consider something like a smartphone as a readily available teaching material learning aid that learners can be directed to use for their academic excellence?
It is, we can say it is readily available.
Right.
It is one of the materials that are readily available. Because you can see, even as a country, we've developed. It's just that we can say maybe in the remote areas where we don't have, but we can say at least kwa technology and smartphones, we can say at least tumefika 80%, tukiwork na figures as a country. So we can consider that as a readily available material.
That is very interesting because if I look at back when I used to be in school, not very long ago, but pretty long ago, one of the materials we used to be requested to bring to school as complimentary learning was old newspapers. not all our parents could afford newspapers,
Yeah.
but there was definitely that one old man in the village who definitely had an old newspaper.
Yeah.
And you could go and get it.
Yes.
So in the context of learning today, you're telling us there is a possibility that every child has an access to that digital or smartphone or a tablet or a laptop.
Yeah.
Even if not within their home, within their learning environment, they have access.
Yes. And actually, even if ataka si neighbor ako na simu, teacher ako nayo.
Aha, that is an interesting. The teacher's phone is also part of what the learner can access.
Yes.
Amazing.
It's one of the things that a learner can access, because for me, there are things that you're like, how can I put it into words? Like if I tell children there are planets, they're like, now, how are they arranged? Why is it that you're telling me there's a ring kwa Saturn? You know, like you'll be like, wacha niuonyeshe. And you take your phone, uonyeshe. The same way, hata venye umesema, there was an old man in the village, akona maybe gazeti anasoma. Hata kama si huyo, once in a while mnakula nyama, na hiyo nyama ilifungwa na gazeti, na unajua iko somewhere.
Absolutely.
And maybe, let me just say, I personally, nimeona gazeti zikikatakato zinapelekwa washroom zinaekwa mahali. So,
yeah.
tuseme, we can say the same way, hiyo time maybe, hata kama haungekuwa kwenyu immediately kwenyu nyumbani,
yes.
but at least there's someone somewhere with the digital device.
Amazing. It is a conversation that keeps on growing and growing and growing, takes different shapes, takes different forms.
Yeah.
So now, from what I'm getting you, Teacher Priscillah, is a phone is a readily and locally available material that can be used in learning. The teacher's phone is enough to use technology in the classroom. But you'll find in most conversations when school leaders and managers are asked to introduce technology in the classroom, they see it differently, like a big infrastructure spend. What did you say about that?
Well, what I would say is that, like sometimes, let me say, we as Africans or maybe Kenyans, I don't know why tunakuanga resistant to change. And I remember even when social medias were being introduced, no one was for it. Like people were like, why FB, why WhatsApp? No, hizo si vitu mzuri. But at the moment, we can say there are things that have brought change. They've made things easier. Something that you could send maybe a message within days, you send it within seconds. And we can say the moment we start accepting, like this is it, this is how it is. Because I remember some school, let me just say public schools, most of them, let me just say, in as much as 100%, but we can find most of the public schools, they have tablets. And we can see there are some schools wenye ziko na even computer labs. Well, there are those schools zenye hazina. Na the fact that hamna, it doesn't mean that you've been left behind. Because in a school, you'll find kuna accounts zina happen kwa hiyo shule.
Yes.
Maybe the head teacher might have even a laptop. A head teacher, I'm pretty sure a head teacher atakuwa na that laptop.
Yeah.
Kama hana, there is a phone. You know, like a phone, there are many things you can do na simu. Na unaweza onyesha, in as much as haitakuwa na maybe details zenye unataka, maybe it's ni kwa Excel sheet, Word, na laptop venye iko. A phone itself, it's a computer by itself.
Absolutely.
Ni venye tu, that's why it's a mobile inaenda.
Yeah.
So we can say, like, don't see when we say like embrace technology, we mean set up a key lab, key computer lab, do this so that you can say you're changing. You start with what you have. And with what you have, that is when you start changing na kujanga with time. And with time, vitu zinakam, zime grow. So just start with the smallest thing that you have. So it is not, we can't say it's impossible to bring technology into our schools, into our learning areas. Nah, it is possible.
Interesting. That is quite insightful. Because essentially, when we demystify the concept of technology in the classroom, then we are able to see growth, we are able to see development. If one teacher, Priscillah, has been able to introduce her phone in the classroom and use it for the benefit of learners, if we can multiply and have 10 teacher Pricillahs, 100 teacher Pricillahs, 1,000 teacher Pricillahs, then technology will become a central factor in the classroom.
Kabisa.
So I look at it as you are taking a good path of leadership in that area. And you are taking a good path of making sure that the little technology that is available is beneficial to the young learners.
Mhm.
Nonetheless, there are challenges,
Yeah.
many difficulties,
Yes.
many different playing fields.
Mm.
From your educator's perspective,
Yeah.
do you feel like we are ready to make every learner be in a position to access technology for their own learning? Are we ready as a country? Are we ready as an education system? Are we ready as a people? Do we have that goodwill to
Mhm.
introduce technology now and make sure that it guides our future of learning?
Well, personally, as Teacher Sila, I can say partly 60% we are ready,
Mhm,
40% we are not ready.
mhm,
The reason why I say 60% we are ready because in the urban areas, you can see it is developed. Some of these children, they know how to even apply technology more than we do. Some of these children can do coding perfectly, do a good job.
mhm,
Vizuri tena sana.
mhm.
Like some part of Kenya imedevelop kabisa.
Yeah.
Why do I say no 40%? 40% I say no because some of the schools we do not have even the buildings themselves.
Mhm.
You know, and it's so sad to say that we have schools like still have children who study under a tree,
Yeah.
you know, at this time and age. So I can say because such a school, mtoto huwezi niambia utampelekea kompyuta akiwa chini ya mti.
Mhm.
Because first things first.
Sure.
Mtoto, how is their well-being? Anasoma aje? Are they having food? Is everything okay? Before you start telling them, now there is coding, there is technology. First, you go to the basic needs. Is this child having the basic needs that they need? You see, like
Yes.
now we can say like in those remote areas, kabisa. Now, at some of these areas, even the teachers themselves, they're not fully fledged such that they can use computers.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm in school. I'm doing special education.
Yeah.
Recently, they told us that we are going to do our exams e-examinations.
Mhm.
Personally, sijaifanya, but
Yeah.
sieti naogopa juu I've interacted with a laptop here and there.
Yeah.
But I have my classmates wenye wanateta.
Yeah.
Juu mtu hajaingia a computer class. They used to paperwork. Na wanauliza na unanipatia computer mi nitafanya aje exam. Ni sawa niko na content. But
Yeah.
sasa unataka ni deliver aje, you know.
Yeah.
So I can say because hata wao ni walimu. So what I can say, even some of the teachers, we can't assume wanajua to use technology, you know, because even right now we still have teachers who use simu za kitambo, like the kabambe and everything. And when it comes to maybe kwa simu, like they are not well informed. So I can say 60% for the developed areas in the country, yes, we can go ahead. But now, for the children when you're kwa remote areas, first we work on the basic needs. Is this child well? How is their are they okay? Mali anasomea, mtoto ako sawa, mwalimu ako sawa, then tunaweza songa.
Great. That is, we have a myriad of challenges as a nation,
Yeah.
as an education system, as a people. And this is a pretty much difficult path of a question to ask. But do you think it is right that we say, wherever we are, we need to just start? Because when we have a starting point, then we are able to find a way. Or should we wait to figure out everything and then we start in the future?
We start right now. You know, hata siku za zenye unajua kitambo ako kila mahali. I know. Wacha tuseme wewe.
Why me?
Wacha niseme wewe labda. Sio ulisema miaka yako imesonga kidogo. So let me just say, tunaweza sema unacheki venye electricity ilianzanga with a certain area. And then it goes, si tulisoma hata diffusion, inaanzanga ka particle, and then it starts spreading everywhere. The same thing. Unaona hata potato ikiharibika, inaanza kuharibika moja, alafu zinaharibika zote. And because this is a positive thing, the fact that imeanza, I believe inaenda ikiingianga hadi mashinani, uko ndani. You see, because naweza sema tuendelee tu, because hatuwezi sema we figure out everything. Hatutoi figure out hata tukitaka aje. But the thing is, like we start where we are, and then we start working on as we are introducing technology mali tuko.
Yes.
Na tukipeleka kwenye hakuna, then tunaanza hata kuimpact teachers nini, tukaenda tukiangalianga ni wapi hakuna, ni wapi hawajafikiwa, how can we help them hivyo. So far I can say let us start.
Great. So your advice is just
start wherever you are.
Amazing. We have to start introducing technology at all levels of learning. Make sure that we are running at the pace of the world. We don't want to be left far much behind. We want to also catch up with the world and be in a position whereby we are preparing our young learners for the future of work. Teacher Sila, you say just start.
We just start wherever we are.
And I think I support you on that. My experiences with education tell me that every new thing that benefits young learners should be done, completely should be introduced. I've had experiences that have taught me the value of making sure that every single bit of learning, every opportunity you have to change the life of a young learner, you take it. I have been a member of a board of a primary school. And I remember sometimes when we were having a conversation with the head teacher, and she told us, I have a class 8 that cannot read during the exam. They cannot answer questions. You have to read the questions for them. And we were all surprised. Why can't a class 8 learner read during exams? And she gave us a story of the foundations they had at the young levels from grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. And the challenge was that they were never taught how to read or understanding at that level. So they grew up with that to the highest level, and now it was too late for nearly all of them. But reflecting on it, it was an opportunity to look at how things at the foundational level. It was an opportunity to think, why would all of them, like a whole class, not be able to read and understand at that level? It's probably because they have different learning paces. Probably the teacher could only offer them one pace, and none of them was really catching what that pace of the teacher. And that is one of the problems that technology can solve, according to us. As a teacher, do you think it's a challenge that technology has the potential of solving, such that you are able to give children an opportunity to learn at their own pace and to be proficient at the right age?
Yes, technology can do that perfectly. And something I realized is that, like nowadays, when you're listening to something, there are captions. Whatever this person is saying, there are captions that are written there. So you'll find sometimes a child will read whatever is written there if they didn't get. If they want the correct words of whatever this person, they will read. And I'm not surprised the fact that we used to have, or maybe even right now, we might have children who do not know how to read at that age. It is very possible. But technology is one thing I know that is going to eliminate all that. Why? Because, for example, let me just use Esoma itself, right? When we normally have zinaitwa aje, kuna mahali kuna reading kwa English, siko na reading. Unapata hata kama ni grade 1 inamsomea like cat. There's like a voice note kanasema that's cat. And kuna sounds like cat. You see, like that's technology. You don't need a teacher. You know, just teacher like physically, ni ile tu time, like maybe kama ni zile shule you have different teachers, that teacher only have 30 seconds with you. And that's it. It's upon you to, 30 minutes, I mean, it's upon you to grasp whatever amesema or not. And as I had said earlier, technology, you have it there with you. Hujashika sahi, I'll be here for you. Hata ukitaka ni repeat for 1 hour, I will repeat for you. And I think the fact that technology alafu inakuja in a fun way. Unajua teacher anaweza kuja leo hana mood za kufunza. Anasikia tu amechoka. Maybe they are undergoing their own things, right? Because they're human. Sindio? Na maybe leo hana ile energy ya kuruka. But now, the same pace yenye ilikuwa ndio iko na ndio itakufunza, whether una feel ama ufeel. And that is one thing I know, like technology itasaidia mtoto hata hiyo na reading and even comprehension, because inakwambia cat, the word cat, this is how a cat looks like. A cat has 4 legs, not 5 legs. This is an elephant, this is a giraffe. and there's a difference. This is the color. This is how it looks like. They are visual. Sema nitakuja nikwambie cat. Ushaona paka? Mwenye ameona ni sawa. Nani hajaiona enda utafute kwenye paka iko na inakaa aje, you know.
Yeah.
Like for wild animals. Kama mtoto hajaienda kwa orphanage na kuna picha, we tafuta ile time yako utaenda utafute lion na giraffe zinakaa. But with technology, this is a lion. This is the sound. This is how the sound looks like. Evil. Like there are details. And that is what I love about technology.
Love that. I definitely love that so much. Because technology is an enhancer.
Yeah.
When I've been looking at concepts in learning science and matters around the constructs of pedagogy, one of the things that comes out so brilliantly and so importantly, especially for the young ones, is repetition.
Yes.
And what I'm getting from you is that with technology, repetition is guaranteed.
Yes.
It is as many times as you want it to happen.
Yeah.
It is as many times as you want to view it and listen to it.
Yeah.
So it gives you an opportunity to get a concept from that construct of repetition. So I believe when you say that technology will aid better understanding, make sure that these learners are not getting through the system without getting a thing. Because again, with the classroom, you teach something today, tomorrow you teach a different one.
Yes.
The other day you teach a different one.
Yes.
But with the technology, someone can come and learn the same concept again and again. And repetition gives a better chance of understanding a concept. So that is pretty interesting and pretty good as the place of technology in creating mastery for young learners.
Yeah.
So when we speak about this repetition, it's not only happening in school. It needs to be happening at home. It needs to be happening probably even in the market. And the person who is in charge at this level is the parent. Is the parent really ready to be in the space of technology and learning and assisting the child in using these gadgets and using these resources available to enhance learning? What would you tell parents with regards to using technology for learning?
One thing I would tell every parent who is watching this, I would tell them, make sure that you are you familiarize yourself with technology. Why? Because things are changing. Modes of doing assignments are changing. And you are that person who is there, who is supposed to check what is my child doing. As kwambie, I'm doing my assignment, na si assignment anafanya. So hata we be up to speed. Venye vitu zinafanyika sahi ni technology. And it's something that it's here to stay and it's not leaving us. The only thing that it does ni kuchange inakanga iki-improve. So make sure hata wewe you are up to speed. Whatever your child is doing, just know what is happening. At least ujue like what is your child interacting with. Hata wewe ujue what is happening out there, right? Hata when you're logging in maybe to a platform like Esoma, you want to pay for your child. How will you pay it for it to help your child? Like what happens if you want to advance it? There are maybe programs zenye ni kuna premium unalipa. How do you pay it? Next time ukitaka ku login kwa mtoto wako, how do you do it? Because ni wewe utafunza mtoto when you're not around. How will they log in? So ni wewe you keep yourself up to speed. Know how things happen. Jua venye technology ina take place. And as I said, it's not here to ikae kidogo iondoke. The only thing that happens, it keeps on advancing. So make sure even yourself, you're up to speed. Such that usiachwe you are hanging. Watu wengine wanaendelea na uko tu nyuma. Ni kila mtu tunaendelea tukiendelea vizuri.
Marvelous advice for teachers. And another thing to add on to that, we as Esoma Solutions, we are here to help all parents.
Yes.
24 hours, 7 days a week. Make a call to us, send us a text, send us an email. We are ready to help you, to guide you on how you can apply this technology for the benefit of your learners. So as a parent, wherever you are, kindly, if you have any troubles, shoot us an email, text us, call us at any time of the day. We are ready to assist you. Sometimes we go to their homes to assist them, just to make sure that every single parent is ready to use technology for the benefit of their learners.
Wow.
So as we come to a close of the Smart Classroom today, we want to have final touch of wisdom from teacher Priscillah as she speaks to the parents, education stakeholders, learners out there, and even to us found us in the EdTech space
Mm.
and on matters relating to the work she loves the most, teaching. Teacher Priscillah.
Yes. So let me outpour the wisdom. Now, what I can say about EdTech, this is one thing that it is making work easier. Because when you look at the classroom level, there's a lot that happens. You are there, you're supposed to encourage a certain child, you're supposed to teach, you're supposed to update your documents as a teacher. Like you have to do parenting as a teacher and also teach. But one thing I love about technology, it's making things easier. Why? Because you don't have to tell a child, go home and ask. You just do it. If it is research, you do it in the classroom level. And the thing that we told parents that they need to keep their wanafaa wakuwe at par na technology mahali iko. Why? Because education still continues even in the house. It still continues. So what I would like to say, number one, I'll start with the parent. As the parent, as we said earlier, make sure you are familiar with technology and what is happening. Anything to do with education and it is technology-wise, grab it. For the teachers, one thing I would say, even to those people who formulate, what do we call this? Policies are education. If at all they would bring technology even to the teacher themselves, such that they don't have to do a lot of paperwork, marking, assignments, marking of diaries. Like, I know all that is something that can be done online within seconds and within a few, like we save time. Why? Because the one-on-one with the child, because most of the time you'll find a teacher anafunza mbio so that I end up update something and you find there is not enough time with the child. And I'd say technology, it's something that we really need to embrace. Now, to the child, any child out there listening to me, make sure if this technology imeletwa, I know you really enjoy. And one of the things children enjoy ni kukimbililia kwenda kutafuta kiti ya computer room. Wanahuwa wanavutana. And that is something that really makes me feel good because you can see the interest that they have towards technology. So it's upon us, teachers and parents, to support our children. For them, they are ready to learn. But we as teachers, we as policy makers, we as parents, what are we doing towards? Because we are the ones who will make it ifike mahali inafaa. Ndio wao wakifika kwa ground sasa, mambo yao itakuwa smart hata kuliko penye iko sasa.
Thank you so much, Teacher Priscillah, for being with us. We've really enjoyed picking from your cup of wisdom, picking from your experiences, picking from your classroom vibe, and you passing on the vibe to us. We appreciate so much. That has been our maiden episode on the Smart Classroom with none other than Teacher Priscillah, the TikTok sensation, an amazing teacher, an amazing human being, and even a better person. So thank you, Teacher Priscillah, for that. We appreciate so much. Amazing things to pick up from today's conversation. And most importantly, that smartphone that you're holding, that smartphone you have at home, that one that you call your house girl with, that smartphone you have in school, just start with it. Don't wait until you have more gadgets. Don't wait to buy a computer. Start with what you have. It is very important to just start and make sure that we start integrating technology into the learning of our children. And as Esoma Solutions, we have already got you covered. We have a platform for your young learners to learn math, to learn English, to learn Swahili, to interact with storybooks, and they will enjoy it straight right from your phone, and they'll be able to improve on their foundational literacy and numeracy. They'll have better outcomes in their learning. They'll be prepared for lifelong learning. Just log into Esoma Kids. The link is provided on the description. Just click on the link, join our platform, enroll your child, make sure that they are having fun as they learn. Thank you very much. Until next time, this is the Smart Classroom.